All right, so let's see. Okay. Woo! Goosebumps. All right. New moon energy. New moon energy. Let's talk about this new... Ooh! All the way up my arms. All right. Let's talk about this new moon energy for the enlightened ones, the spiritual sisters, the activated seers, the 4AMers, whatever they call themselves. But this year has been rough for a lot of us. So let's see what this new moon is bringing us. So new moon again is supposed to be bringing, this new moon is supposed to be bringing us an opportunity to release old anger, to release frustrations, and to let go of blockages. It's also supposed to bring accelerated and unexpected changes, opportunities, and turning points. And y'all already know. Oh, you will? Okay, cool. I will invite you up in just a second. Let me do this collective reading, and then by all means, girl, get your cards, get ready. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm excited. Anybody else want to come up and read with us? Because this is going to be fun. Oh, you saw small ones? The ones I was looking at. I went to a crystal shop with my friend yesterday. It was like $125. I was like, ooh. Okay. So here we go. For the enlightened ones. So this first card that's going to come out is going to be about you. You, the enlightened one. So this is a collective reading for the enlightened ones for this new moon. Over the next 4 weeks, what is to be expected? Even though I feel like the radiation is going to go beyond the 4 weeks. All right, is that it? All right. That's not a good thing to start with. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. In reverse. 5 of Swords in reverse. Sound drum. Drumming. Not for me to do, really. But for me to listen to. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the unknown. What are we to expect in these next 4 weeks and beyond? For the enlightened ones, for the activated ones, for the 4AMers, this new moon energy. What is the unknown that it is going to bring? What is the unknown it is going to bring? One card, please. What is the unknown it is going to bring? I'm hearing take your time. Take your time. Take your time to do what? Take your time. Take your time to be in the moment. Take your time to be in the moment. Hello. All right. What is the unknown that wants to be revealed? No. No? Oh, okay. What is the unknown that wants to be revealed for the enlightened ones over these next 4 weeks and beyond? I feel like there's going to be a lot of beyond to it. So it's not from new moon to new moon. This is beyond. This is starting a new journey. Yes? Oh, okay. This is starting a new journey. Hey, Carly. All right. So again, we're doing a collective reading for the new moon. Yes? Is this the known? Yes. Is that the known? Is that the known? Was that for the known? No. What was that for? Is that for the known? No. What is it for? Okay, put that to the side. Wait, does that go with this? Okay, I don't understand. All right, hold on. All right, so is that for the known? Okay. Is that for the known? Why am I hearing no? Why are you giving me a reading on top of a reading? Is that for the known? Does that clarify anything? Is this bonus on top? Yes. Okay. Okay, what's the known that needs to be revealed? Is that for the known? Why do I keep hearing no? Okay. What is this? Is this just extended? Yes. Okay. All right, so what's the known? What's the known here? What is the known? I don't know if I like that known. I don't like that word known. I'm feeling very Trumpian right now. I don't know if I like the way the word known feels. What's the known? Okay, what do we already know and are not paying attention to? Let's put it that way. What do we know and are not paying attention to? Does that feel more aligned? Okay. What do we already know but we're not paying attention to? What do we... Okay, that didn't jump out. So what do we know and we're not paying attention to? Is that? Yes. Okay. What action do we need to do in this moment? What's the action we need to do in this moment? I'm going to do another reading on top of this. Is that it? Yes. Oh, okay. I'm going to do another one on top of this. Because I see one that's jumping out. Also, the same to do that one. Okay. This is all we're doing right now, right? Is that it for that? So is that extended on the known? Oh, okay. Yes, it is. Interesting. Okay. So does it go in that order? Or does it go this way and then that way? This way and then that way. Okay. That's a weird reading, but let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So, sorry, y'all. I'm talking to myself right now. Y'all know how I do. I talk to me. Do you talk to you? Talk to me. Okay. Now, the Light Seers has a different meaning on one level than a regular card. Oh, wait. Am I pulling out the higher now? Not now. After this. Okay. Anyway, love this book. I love that book. I need to write these down. Well, no. I'm going to do a reading for myself. I'll let this just be for you guys. Well, not for you guys. I'm part of this too. But my practice, I'll let be for me. Okay. So, luckily it has this big old thick book. So here's what we got for the initial. So you, the seer, the elevated one, we're looking at a 5 of Swords, right? Okay, it's correct though, because the goosebumps are coming. Okay. Now, if we look at this thing in the, I was going to say, we look at it in the upright for some reason. Does that look like blood to you guys? This red stuff here? I don't know if you can see it very well. If I lose a light, would that bother you? If I lose a light. Talk to me. Which light? Of course that was the wrong light. Like lovers do. Why am I hearing that? I don't know. Does that help you guys see better? Oh, there we go. Does that help you see better? Does that look like blood? That right there? I don't know. Wait, hold on. Let's see if we can get you guys closer. It's like orangey red. I don't know. I don't know. Does that look like blood? That right there? I don't know. Wait, hold on. Let's see if we can get you guys closer. It's like orangey red. I don't know. 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 I It's like orangey red. I know this looks like a headache, right? It does, right? Okay. Thank you for sending your first gift, Chris. I appreciate your heart me. Welcome to the club. All right, I'm gonna break out the book in a second, but I wanna just go ahead and show you what we have. So this is the Five of Swords. See, that's the thing with the light seers. Hold on, I can't see now. I can't see. The light seers. Oh, this is a correct card though. What this is in the background is, and it's weird because this is kind of triumphant, right? But it's like climbing like Everest or something, like climbing a snow mountain or what have you. So yes, someone has been triumphant, but the person in the front, the foreground, has not. He's been plagued by headaches. And the crows, they represent the swords. I know, they're so hard. Like they're not my training wheels. So I'm trying. Hold on, I didn't put them in here. I'm putting them up here so you can see them. But these are the Light Seer Tarots. And because we're doing a new moon reading, this is what I was pulled to for us to read with. And I already, like, listen, this is where the newbie me comes out, because my human self is like, I'm scared of these. And I don't know why I'm scared of them, other than the fact that it's not my training wheel cards. But I don't know why I'm scared of them. It's like there's like this trepidation to it, because they're light cards. It's like I'm so scared of them. Hey, Janice. Winning, but at a high price. But that's someone else winning. I'm not seeing, okay, like the guy in the foreground, this feels like, you know what? Yes. Okay. But in the upright, this makes sense. Because like I said, we're talking to the elevated ones, the signaled ones. And so this would make sense. Because these people celebrating with a little red trail, they have been a headache. Have they not? We have been plagued by the cause of their crow selves, in a way, right? And they've been in our head like, oh my God, there were people who were afraid of being seen as blue MAGA. There were people who were afraid of coming out and asking for recounts. There were just people who were afraid to use their voice, and now all of a sudden they want to use their voice. But it's like, damn, we're a whole year into this when we should have been using our voice in the first place. However, that said, I do understand the divine timing of everything. So I'm not mad. It's just like, what took y'all so long? But it's good because it's unraveling the straitjacket we've been in, right? We found the thread to pull, and that straitjacket has been unraveling, and we're getting free of it. It's what we needed. But that said, if this card was in the upright, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about what a headache they've been. Okay. And right. And now a lot of us are shifting. I'm working this out, y'all. A lot of us are shifting in lately, but in real time. Because as you know, we're getting ready to celebrate. I mean, it's been fun to watch, for me. Like, it's been fun. It has been fun. I don't let the grossness and the grotesqueness of what's happening get to me. Because I'm like, I already knew this shit. I'm just having fun watching this shit unravel. They're like, oh my God, did you know he was talking to the ice state? Yeah, we've been through this. We knew this like a couple months ago, like when we got the emails, like the other emails. Oh my God, did you know that he's attached to the financials industry? Yeah, we already knew this. It's like, come on, you're almost here. Come on, speed up a little bit, because we have to end this before this year. Like, I've been feeling that for the longest. I just know we have this year, and that's it. Because after this year, we normalize, and we don't need to be normalizing shit. So we have this year to hoover out the thing. So this makes sense to me now. Okay, so this is making sense to me now. I will consult the book in a little bit, but like I said, in the upright, we're dealing with a headache, but now tables have turned. We're in the reverse. And so, y'all, we gonna be all right. Hey, okay, that's that part. And it's like, in honesty, here, the crow used to be a source of headache, but now the crow seems to be a source of, I was going to say companion, but that's not it. That's not the word. It's not companion. But it's like, not gossip. Just basically bringing us the tea. Like, for real. You know? It's a weird one. Okay. So, this is the unknown. This is the part that we did not know that needed to be revealed. And the part that we did not know that needed to be revealed is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, I know about the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles. Yes, messenger. There we go. I was like, what's the word? You know? And that's interesting too, right? Because in a way it flips, like I say, it flips the meaning. Like we looked at it as a headache, and it kind of was. Like knowledge was such a burden, right? I'm like, oh my God, like I feel the people moving. I feel it, right? And I only had myself to talk to for a while, really, about that. And then there were some videos and stuff, but people were looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, girl, just accept it. We have 4 more years. I'm like, damn that. We don't have 4 more years of shit. What are you talking about? So, like the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, as well as just the consumption of information, which is a coping mechanism, right? To try to learn as much shit as you possibly can. But then that knowledge becomes a burden because it's like, look, y'all. And if nobody wants to look, then now you're Cassandra, right? From Greek mythology. But the unknown is, a lot of us did not even realize that this celebration really was around the corner, right? This celebration, this family, this connection. Honestly, I really do see, and I'm feeling it with goosebumps now. I really do see that some of y'all's families will be reconnected. Like this Thanksgiving is going to be kind of a turn for your families. Don't expect, like truly, don't expect apologies. I'm going to tell y'all now, like you white ones, right? Don't expect apologies. But do understand that a lot of your people have completely shifted, right? A lot of y'all people have already completely shifted, and it's going to be a pride point, right? And I think we had a reading about that earlier this week. Is like there's going to be a sticking pride point that some people just aren't going to be able to say I was wrong. They're just not going to be able to say that I was wrong. But some will be able to, because they'll be taking lead from their MAGA leader. What's the girl? The Muppet? Because she's being able to say, I was wrong. I was taken in. And so some will be following her lead in that. Some will be re-embracing in that. But understand this. You don't have to say yes now. You don't have to say yes now to the family. You really don't. Yes, MTG. You really don't. So understand that. You don't have to put down your boundary this soon, because like it literally just happened. Like these people are literally just waking up. However, exactly, you do get to protect your boundaries. You do get to protect your own peace. But understand that there is going to be a time to reconnect for some of you. And to find that peace and to find that gathering. But some of you also have created a family out of the connections you've been making. Some from the parades that you've gone to, some from even seeing yourself differently because you help organize parades or help get people on the phone. So there's a lot to be celebrating in this season. And if you haven't taken that time to do that yet, do it. And I feel like it's only unknown simply because you haven't taken the time to breathe and look at it yet. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So for some of you, you have got to actually stop and celebrate how far you've come from last November. Some of you couldn't even get out of the bed last November. I know I was just like completely in a fog going, what the hell just happened? you know? Not just the point of her not winning, right? Because we know she did. It was the confusion. I was like, what the hell just happened? And when I tell you, literally, for just a couple weeks, I was livid at white women. Like, absolutely livid. And I'll tell you why. Because when I went on social media, it was like, but, but, it's like, okay, you guys lied to me. I was in a vacuum. And I'm like, that's not what happened, baby. It's not that social media had you in a vacuum. No, it's you naturally had yourself in a vacuum. You know, social media didn't tell you, like, it wasn't a vacuum. Like, I don't know, just the amount of excuses people latched onto, and then the way that, especially white America, and mind you, the brown people who fell for that Palestinian stuff too. Oh my God, we're not gonna talk about y'all today. I still got a bone to pick with some of y'all. But yes, that's what the word is. Janice, I felt betrayed because it was like, what? Like, for real? However, when I realized, oh, we did some shenanigans, and that autism part kicked in, and my fellow autistics were the girl who teaches piano, Nicole, who teaches piano, or something like that. She was on there. Another fellow autistic was on there. Then another fellow autistic was on there. I'm like, okay, believe the autistics, because we are pit bulls with information. And so when I started looking at the information and I started looking at the charts, I went, oh shit. And then, y'all, I wish I can find the book. If I can tell you how obsessive I got, because during the inauguration, I had to take off 2 whole weeks of everything. I don't even know if this is the book. I got so obsessed with trying to figure out what the hell went wrong. Not just like, because I knew about the shenanigans by then. And I was like, what went wrong? Like, how did he do it? Right? And so I was looking at, I went all the way back to 2008 because I'm like, okay, she's black. So let me compare her to another black person. She's a female. Let me compare her to another female person. I'm not going to compare her to the white guy because, she's black and female. So she's that intersection. And I'm like, okay, what happened? What happened? Listen, I'm showing you guys how obsessed I got. I had to write this over and over and over again because I was like, wait, I don't have enough room. Yes, exactly. Started diving into the polling. This says 2008, 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024. Then I went down. What were the ethnicity breakdowns? Then I went down. Then I'm like, well, damn, why we didn't separate Asians? Right? So I'm like, damn, y'all just group Asians and others? No, I want to know how the Asians voted. So I'm just like looking at all of this, right? So like 2008 to 2024, I'm like, wait, these numbers are hugely different. I'm like, that don't make sense. And so then I had to write it out again, because then I had to see it again. Like, when I tell you obsessed, the autism and the anxiety took over. Obsessed. So I broke down every election, and I'm looking at everything, and I'm over here like, wait, no. See, I said, what's proven in 2016? Then I went into the deep dive. Okay, what was proven in 2016 was that there was social media manipulation, that there was fake accounts, that there was divisive content, that there was raised social tensions. What else was there? There was cyber hacking. There was stolen data. There was WikiLeaks. There was something about DC, something about Guccifer. I don't even know what that was. I meant to look it up, but I never did. Then it was like, this caused distrust. Then I was like, oh, the vodka country. Okay, so then there was Anger and Sanders. Their supporters before DNC, like they got Bernie's people upset. They got, like, I was just like, when I tell you obsessed, like these notes, I was breaking it all down. Obsessed. And then when I saw the numbers and I realized the main 2 people they went after, the main 2 groups they went after, and I can't say too much more of certain words because we're on this thing, but those main 2 people, black men, white women. black men, white women. Those two groups were magicked. They were magicked, right? So listen, when I got obsessed, I got obsessed. So like, I'm like, black men voted 95-4, 95 Democrat, 4 Republican in 2008. So the black man voted for a black man, but I was like, yeah, they would do that anyway. So no. Then I went, how do they vote for the white woman? Okay, so black men went 82-15, but I'm like, I think 2016 was a little shenanigan too, but all right, let's take that. So it's like, okay, so if they voted for a woman, 82-15, huge drop, but it's a woman, and you know, some men are misogynistic, so I was like, okay, I can take that drop for a second. So between the black man and a woman, how did they vote for the black woman? And then that drop was even bigger. I was like, hell nah. Nope. So between 2012 and 2024, in these 12 years, we lost 11 points. Nah, something's wrong, homie. And then I was like, okay, let me look at white women. So white women, where y'all at? Okay. So white women in 2008 voted 46-53 for Obama, 42-56 for Obama again. So I'm like, okay, those are actually safe numbers, right? Because even though you're still like more percentage-wise over there, those are pretty safe numbers for us to still have flipped this thing, correct? All right, cool. So then how did y'all vote for the woman? And then I was like, dang, y'all hated the woman. But wait, those numbers were shenanigans. Okay, because it was like 45-47. And I'm like, where'd the rest of y'all go? To Jill? Because like Jill sucks. She's a gopher. So then it's like 2016, that's the woman. 2020, that's the white man. But y'all went down for him and up for the orange one during COVID? That don't make sense. What? And then I was like, oh shit. Now I know. He tried this in 2020. And once I realized that, I was like, that's why he was saying it was going to be shenanigans. That's why he was so like 10 toes down that it was stolen. Because he tried. When I tell you the epiphany started happening, I stopped being angry. I stopped feeling betrayed by white women. Because I knew there was still going to be a big bunch of y'all, right? Because y'all churches and stuff are very racist. I didn't know how racist. But man, I'm learning. Yeah, well, you know, in 2020, he said the third term thing then too. And I'm like, y'all didn't hear that? Did y'all not hear that? Like, I heard that. Anyway, so when I looked at these numbers, I realized he did the same thing. He tried then. And then I'm like, okay, so if he tried then, he definitely shenaniganed in 2016. But I'm like, how did he do it in 2016? There was no, but did we do, like, you know, I'm just like, what? Huh? What? And then when This Will Hold came out with their expose in August, and they took it all the way back to 2000. They took it all the way back to Hanging Chad and how the paper itself was manipulation to force us into digital. I went, oh, wow. Because I knew then how y'all felt when y'all woke up with that man. That's how I felt when it was Bush. Because I was like, why would we choose him? That doesn't make sense. Because that was my very first time voting, you know, because I was legit. And I was like, wow. So that's what I want you to understand is that, and I get it. It's karma reckoning. There's a whole bunch of stuff that had to happen this year. This year has been long as hell. It's been a whole decade by itself. Like, ugh. And I promise you, I better never hear I don't want to hear a joke in his voice after this. Like, I want it deaded. Like, I don't want to hear his voice. I don't want to see a cartoon. I don't want to see nothing. Because when he came back on the scene for this second go, I went, oh shit, I'm traumatized. I could not watch anything with him on it. Everything that came on, I was reporting it. And I'm like, why is he all over my internet? And I'm just like trying to report everything. Girl, when I tell you, I had PTSD from especially 2020. But I had PTSD from his first time. I was like, oh, nah. I can't do this again. I better not hear a joke. I don't want to hear his voice. I don't want to see a picture. I don't want to see nothing with him at all. At all. Midterm's going to be fine, girl. I mean, Marcel. I don't know. Midterms is going to be fine. You know how it's going to be fine? Because even if they try it again, with the numbers being such a high turnout at midterms, it's going to be like, ain't no way. Because we already doing this, hold on. Even though we did the blue wave for this off season, basically, even though we did this blue wave for this off season, a lot of us still went, wait. That's still too close. Wait, hold on. What did you do? Because if you look up David, what's his name? It starts with an M-A-N. If you look at David Man something, he started realizing that first he looked at one state because this girl, she was like, I went to go cast my voice 2 weeks ago, and they told me that I was deactivated. And she's like, how could I be deactivated? They said, because you didn't do it for a few years. And she's like, I did it in November. And so, like, I tagged him, somebody else tagged him under it. And after that, I love my fellow autistics. He was gone. A dog with a bone. And he was like, I don't even care if y'all labeled or not. We know each other. Okay. If an autistic person tells you you're autistic, listen, just take it. Because we know people. Okay. But anyway, so he's been off running. And if you go, a lot of his stuff gets taken down because it belongs to the Oracle people now, right? But anyway, so he's finding that there was a sect of people between who are baby millennials. So they fall in like 94, 95. So they're like the baby millennials and the elder Gen Zs. That group of people on a blue team has been deactivated consistently across every contest he's looked at for the last year or two that he's been looking at. Like, he's been pulling them because he already had all the numbers. So every single one of them, you will see blue team in that group. These are like first timers or something, right? Like, they might be first timers, they might be second timers. These people have been deactivated at a ridiculous rate compared to other people. And so now it's like, why would you play this game when you didn't, it's an off year. So now that we know you're playing this game in an off year, well, now we got to look back at the other year. You know what I mean? So it's been really interesting. But the whole point is, this year has taught you a lot. And I think you really need to examine that. Because, one, it's unknown because you're not paying attention. And I mean, like, hell, I see the growth that I've experienced just in 2025. I don't appreciate it. I don't like the fact that I had to. But there's been a lot of growth, even though there's been a lot of pain, a lot of fear, a lot of other things too. So I want you to, especially because this is the new moon. David, hold on. And be careful reposting his stuff because they like to violate you. Because his stuff, and nothing he says is misinformation. Everything is verified. He pulls all the records. David Manasco? That sounds familiar. David Manasco. There are certain words we can't say, right? So, yes, David Manasco. So, Manasco. David Manasco. Just look at all his videos. He's just been so good. There we go. Well, it's MA. So, it's Manasco. And so if you look at his content, you'll see that he dives into the data. He dives into all the data. And he was one of the ones who posted a video that from like, what'd you call it? From Reddit. Several people were recording last November's thing, and you could see the numbers go from high up for this, and then a blip around 11 o'clock. Actually, y'all, it was around like 11 that they were losing numbers. And it's like, okay, we're not talking percentages, because percentages change, right? As more things come in, percentages get adjusted. We're talking about actual numbers. And you can see the numbers change between, okay, like for instance, there's one I'm looking at that he posted in September. That's when he started posting it. So like at 8:29 p.m., Harris was 1,024,050 at 3 minutes later for this. And this is Pacific Standard Time, so this was 11 my time. At 11:30 p.m. my time. So there was a flip right around 11:30. And so she went from 1,024,000 in this one particular race in Michigan, 1,024,050 to 989,994. How? How did she go down? How did she go down? 3 minutes difference. Somebody was recording this, because it was an exciting time. She was the first of something, so it is an exciting time. I didn't even think to record it, but I wasn't home. I was shooting a commercial. She lost almost 100,000, right? So that's the thing, Donna. If you, I don't know if you guys ever heard people, like, I've always wondered how somebody got away with so much stuff before they arrest people. So like if people steal stuff out of clothing stores, or if they're embezzling money from their jobs, they wait until they get into the larceny arena, like grand larceny arena, so that they like it's worth going after them. So they'll wait till you get into like the 100,000s, or they'll wait until you get in the millions. Cause I'm like, how y'all let that man get away with $5 million? Y'all didn't notice the money? They wait until you get into a place where it's like you're going to be clanked, clink, clink. Yeah. So she knew. She absolutely knew. But first she had her devastating moment too. That's what I'm saying. Like for some reason, like I was really tapped into her energy up until about September, October. Right now it feels like she's moving very quiet because she can't be in anything, because she's going to run again. So she can't be in anything. And when she made that decision to run, like her energy got quiet. So if you know, she's like, she'll speak up at her things, but you don't really see her out as much as she was a little bit earlier. So she's very quiet, but they rushed back. And this is why, like, I became obsessed with TikTok too at that time, before everything happened. Because we were paying attention. We were like, there's an EO that this man signed in himself, that you have 45 days after a thing to challenge it. On that 45th day or something like that, they rushed back from their vacations. She rushed back from Hawaii and he rushed back from wherever the heck he went, because it was Christmas time. They rushed back, and I was like, oh snap, something's happening. And I think that's when they learned. Because even then, because if you paid attention, like AOC started speaking a little bit. Booker or the other one, I never remember which one was talking. I think it was Booker. They both started saying something a little bit. And I was like, wait, y'all getting real slick. Y'all getting slick about something. Hold on. Shifted energy. And I think they realized, because we haven't seen the report yet. And we normally have that report already. And so we haven't seen the report yet. And so this is before they were touring. This was December. I'm talking about December. Because at first they were like, shh, shh, shh. They were real quiet. I'm like, nobody's speaking. And then all of a sudden, and somebody quoted AOC lately, like just recently, when she said something like, you have no idea how big it is, or something like that. She said that in December. And it was like, okay, this is big. But nobody had any idea, bro. Like, every time you pull that string, like I said, it's making the straight jacket come off of us. So this is why we have the Five of Swords in reverse, Because all this knowledge was a headache. Because if you remember, like, I don't know if y'all were 10 toes in it like I was. I was 10 toes, a finger, my knees, and touching with my nose. I was in all this data and all this information. And I'm like, how can nobody see it? And then I was telling people about ETA. I was like, okay, so ETA, they're looking into it. And they're like, what do they know? Their company's only 3 months old. I'm like, that does not negate their experience. The company's 3 months old, sure. But the man used to do data for the Navy or something. I think he knows what he's talking about. This person does this. And like, you're not even going to entertain looking at it? Are you serious? That's right. B was all smiles. Like, everybody was good. And then I think what happened, I think they were planning to, and I'm saying I think because I was feeling it. I think they were planning to, and it was actually, it really, really, really was. I'm telling you. But then, like I said, we didn't see the report. And one of the things that connected the dots for me, I'm getting goosebumps, so this is verified. One of the things that connected the dots for me is the report that This Will Hold came out with in September. When they came into it in September, and people were disregarding that because there was a whistleblower, and the whistleblower was from the trafficking area, right? And so people were disregarding what he said. They were like, why would he be a part of the contest stuff? Because, girl, we're doing a new moon spread, but we got stuck on card number 2 about celebration. Because, and wait, 10 of Pentacles is not just celebration. What else is 10 of Pentacles? Oh, girl, I opened almost right to it. I opened on 9 of Pentacles. Oh, community, see? Community, abundance, generosity, wealth, building a legacy, spiritual and material abundance. This is the thing we didn't take time to appreciate, because it's in the unknown, but it's not that it was unknown. It's that we didn't take time to appreciate it. Okay, so that's a big deal. Let me get back to what I'm saying. Okay, so in This Will Hold, I think around September 6th or September 13th, it was basically around the time Homeboy went missing, right? There was a whistleblower that's in the front of that This Will Hold article. This is the same article that talks about the paper chads, the hanging chads from 2000. So it's a worthy article to read through if you have not. People were disregarding the guy, the whistleblower, because he's from the CIA. He was a CIA whistleblower, but his department in the CIA was trafficking. And so people are like, why would he be part of contests? Well, like, don't we know now? Don't we now know why trafficking and contests and the financial sector and all this stuff now goes together? And it's crazy. Like I said, people are always like, oh, this is just a distraction. You guys, the files. This is just a distraction, the files. And I'm like, do y'all not understand? All this shit goes together. Like, it all goes together. This isn't a distraction. This is another string to this, like, to taking off our straitjacket. You would not look at Moon Pie Face Jeffrey and go, you that dude. Like, he was really that dude. Like, that man knew everybody. Everybody. He knew something on everybody, and he knew everybody. On some level, I was like, I think you just name dropping, just a name drop. I don't think you really got it like that. But the more the more I read, I'm like, damn, I think you do actually got it like that. Or at least you pretended to until you did. You know what I mean? Because he could be like somebody, I don't know. I don't want to get into that because I was just going to give an example, and that example is going to go too long. But basically, you know how you barter stuff? Like, there's stories about bartering, or like if you watch a cartoon or something, or Percy Jackson, the show, and it's like, I need my sword. Okay, so your sword is with Aries. Let me go to Aries. Aries, he needs his sword. Well, I need my shield. Okay, where's your shield? It is with Poseidon. Okay, Poseidon, I need his shield. Okay, I need you to do this. So basically, it's a journey, like that kind of thing. So it could be like that with him too. He's like, oh yeah, I know Homeboy over CBS. And it's like, do you really? But then you get with a CBS guy and go, yeah, now I know the Victoria's Secret guy. All that line. Trading information. There we go. Yes. Trading information. Anyway, But this is, and I'm glad that I just did read this, because this is actually true. Like, this is very, very true. And I think if you stop and like really assess this last year, assess this last 374 days, or however many days it's been, assess this thing, and then like honestly see how far you've come or what you've created. I wasn't even part of this community. Hell, I was still trying to figure out what I'm doing on TikTok last year. Other people like Gia, she got to her 100,000 people doing the whole 4 a.m. thing, and then whatever. That started last year. That took her on a journey. Jennifer, ethical psychic, that took her on a journey. That, like, a lot of us were just psychic silently or in our little niches. And now I don't say I'm psychic. I'm a seer, but we're out loud. You know what I mean? I just don't care what he tries. Like, honestly, like, I don't, because he really is a lame duck right now. He's just a lame duck right now. Like, he really is a lame duck right now. Nobody has listened to him anymore. Yeah, so you didn't start posting either. Like, child, I think I had 70 followers in November. And then all of a sudden I did the one about being mad at God. And I hit 1,000, like, phew, like that. And I was like, oh. And then TikTok was like, you can go live. I was like, but about what? So, thank you, child. I'm glad to have y'all too, because I used to be on TikTok live by myself, like, hello, is anybody there? Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Lisa. Okay, so I think this will help a lot of you too, is to go ahead and assess what you gained over this last year. Because a lot of us are focused on what we lost. So the unknown is to actually shift your lens and to start focusing on what you gained. What did you gain in this last year? Because again, with this new moon energy that we're looking at, you're looking at dealing with your anger, right? As I told you, I had some anger over white women because I was like, I thought we knew better now, and then digging into all the data, I was like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Some of y'all still gross, but a lot of y'all are not. A lot of you aren't. And then as y'all did the parades, I'm going to call them parades because I can't really call them the other thing. Not because of TikTok, but because they don't look like our stuff. So I'm going to call it a parade, which is still fine. Because what it helped people do is feel less alone and start realizing that they can create community. Hey, Cherie, they can commute. Like, I kept seeing a lot of people after that first one, the hands off or whatever. I saw a lot of people saying, I thought it was just a blue dot, and it was like, no, there's 20 of us here for the small communities. No, there was like 2,000 of us here, So those parades had a great effect. And then, especially when people started learning about the number that you needed to cross. So that first No Kings did that. And then the second No Kings exceeded that. So it really has taken jellyfish and given them a spine, basically, right? Because there was a lot of people afraid to rock the boat, and now they realize they've been swimming in sharks the whole time. So they need to get in the boat, Me and my metaphors. All right, so it is very obvious, but it was obvious from Jump Street. Like, it was so obvious. Oh, yeah. So to finish that story real quick. So, and I had the feeling in January, they were working really, really hard to, one, convince the Supreme to, what's the word? Injunction, to stop him from sitting. So, and I felt it in my bones, to the point where I was so sure that was what was going to happen until Sunday night. And it was like, oh, they couldn't do it. And I'm like, why couldn't they do it? And then, like, it hit me. I went, it's bigger than they know. And look what's happened. It is bigger than it. Like, did y'all really think Jeffrey was that dude? I did not think he was that dude. I thought he was just a trafficker. Moon Pie Face is is, because he's still alive, is that dude. He was really that dude. Like, he was that dude. He was really that dude. I'm like, wow. The dude in the gross way, but he was still that dude. All right, so here's what we do know. We know this pain, right? We know the struggle, because fives are about struggle. That's what fives numerologically. Hold on, let me drink. Adderall gives me dry mouth. Numerologically, whatever. I'm not gonna say it. Forget it. By the numbers, okay? By the numbers. Oh Lord. My brain goes so much faster than my mouth these days. So, numerologically, it's that jiggly, that part at the part. Oh, yeah. Give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up. Okay. Anyway, 5 means struggle, basically. So, we got it in the reverse, but here we got it in the upright. And this is 5 of Pentacles. And here we know, this is the stuff that we did know. And we did know the struggle, right? We did know the struggle. It's so interesting that these are pentacles, because they don't feel like money to me. They feel like values, right? So this is about the value of things. And so this is financial or health difficulties. We know this. Like, I had to have surgery this year. Did I have surgery this year? No, I had to have. Did I have surgery this year? No, I had to have MRIs and CT scans twice this year. It's weird. And I haven't had to do that. So, and many of you have done that. You've had financial issues. You've had health issues. You've had, you felt left out or ostracized from your families, right? You've been worrying about your security. We just had this SNAP thing. And now we have possibly disability or Social Security if we go past December. This has been a very, very trying year. People have lost their jobs, either directly being cut from federal or indirectly being cut because of tariffs, making, I haven't seen her new video today, if that's what you're asking, because I was trying to wait until she posted it. She didn't do one yesterday. Anyway, so basically, oh my gosh, okay, and if you look at this is what I really love about this. Wait, hold on. Can we go back to this, please? Do you see the diversity in this picture? This is this is why we were here. And this is the thing that we're starting to realize and recognize, right? Is that karmic debt that had to be paid. We have to see each other as human beings. Men have to see women as valuable. We're understanding that that's still a problem, right? Because nobody cares that these people mess with little girls, but they do care that Bubba might be a boy, right? But we also had to deal with the race relations. So we have brown people, we have gender issues, we have all these things that we have got to start going, this can be normalized because it needs to be accepted, not tolerated. We need to stop tolerating people. I did a whole TEDx on this, actually, and it never went anywhere, and I actually don't show it because I had to do my own makeup, and oh my God, it was horrible. But my second TEDx was about how tolerance just perpetuates the racism, and we have to move from tolerance to acceptance. We have to accept people are different, and they're allowed to be different. We should not be going, I tolerate you. Tolerance is from superiority. Acceptance is from equity. You know, like, I accept you as you are. And I want to learn from you. And I want to learn more about you. And, you know, like stuff like that. Or I may not want anything to do with you, but I can't tear you down for who you are. You know? There's some people who are trans that you would never know is trans. And you would not hate them. So, you know, a lot of people are just stuck on the guy who wears the beard. Or who has the really terrible makeup. But there are a lot of trans people you would never know are trans. And if you notice, it's not the trans men they have a problem with. It's the trans women they have a problem with. And I got an understanding about why when I watched this person's, and it's a trans woman, I watched her TikTok, and I guess she has one of those random things where people pop in or something. And these dudes were so, and they were young. They were so rude to her. And I'm talking about like, I wish you died, like all that kind of rudeness. And she goes, before you knew what I was, I'll say that. Before you knew what I was, you were attracted to me though. And that's why you're mad. And he shut up. He was like stumbling. And I went, oh, that's what it is. They're mad because they're attracted to you. Oh my God. It was such a mind shift. I was like, that's why. They're mad because they're attracted to you. That's why it is such a point. Because you're attracted to her. And you're mad about that. Because now it makes you question your sexuality. I get it. Meanwhile, women are like, hey girl, you look good. I know, thank you. Oh, okay, girl. I was like, women have, like, for the most part, they have no problem, except those who then take it up as a religious mantle, because I have seen some Karens, and I don't like to call people Karen, but whatever. But like being in that way, like, oh, you got to get out the bathroom, you know, but it's like, they can't go to a men's room because men who are straight are the problem. They get mad because they're attracted. It's like, oh my God, that's what it is. You can't get mad at a gay man. And that's why they're mad at gay men too. Because it's like, because you're attracted. Oh man. Wow. Okay. Like I finally understood it. Anyway, because otherwise, don't you think men wanting to be with a 12-year-old is a bigger abomination? No? Okay. So anyway, off my thing. So the picture I wanted to show you here is, this is like Alice in Wonderland. You see that? Like the key is so huge, the door is so huge, and she's unable to get through. And so it's like feeling small in this big world. Like that is for real the truth. That coexisting is much easier. I definitely don't do pregnancies. I don't do anything medical. I'm not a medical medium. So, thank you for that. But this is it, like, right? So this year has been fraught with, for a lot of people, financial and health issues. Again, some people walking away from each other, losing friends, losing family, seeing people differently than you've seen them before. But that's not all bad. You know, like it's not all a bad thing. Sometimes to lose people or to see people for who they really are in that moment, you can welcome them back when you're ready, or never. Because I know those people, I won't ever. Like, nah, I didn't realize you were that stupid. I can't hang with stupid people. That's catching. That's contagious. I can't do that. Because who you hang out with, that's who you are. I can't do that. But anyway, but here's the last part. And it said, I think this last one was what to do. No, the action to take. So this last one was action to take. Let me make sure. Hold on. I actually got it. Okay, goosebump check. So that was, okay. Okay. All right. So that was a 4 spreader. Hold on. I'm trying to learn these spreads. Okay. So yes, the first one was the you. The second one was the unknown. The third one was the known. And then the fourth one was the action. So the action to take. And this is really good. This is why I was like, oh, okay. It's not that dark. Oh no, I realized it was you, babes. Hey, Amy. You put Trek next to it, so I knew that. Oh, Lord. Who's so draining to be around? I mean, I could be. I am a lot. But do you see? Like, it is magnificently bright, but also, if you notice, it's a surrender as well, right? So you see, like, she's lifting her arms up. It's a surrender. It's a celebration. It's a release. It is, it's like, and you see this line of this energy coming from the sun. So, and then the sun looks like a big old lotus, right? So, it's okay, child. I was like, wait, what? So it's like trying to stop, blah 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 blah. What am I saying? To stop trying to control every damn thing. Like, that's the action to take. Because right now, a lot of where, and this is a major arcana, so I'm going to go to it. A lot of where we have been has been trying to control stuff. This right here is about living in that joy, living in your abundance, your fulfillment, your creativity. And I don't know how many times I do a reading when it's about us, the collective, especially those of us spiritual people, that we keep being told, get in your creative. Because when this is done, you can't be going, okay, what do I do now? What you do now is do now. Oh, about that I know. Oh, okay. I hope you can remember the details soon. So this is also about manifesting. And so as you journal tonight, right? Because this is the new moon tonight. As you journal, I can't remember any of my dreams lately. They're entertaining. They're wonderful. So the new moon peaks tonight, Eastern time, at 1:47 a.m. So if we take it back to PST, to Pacific Standard, that's going to be at 10:47 p.m. Yes. Quick math check. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is I would consider answering these questions, like the way that it influences you, I would change those into questions. So I would ask, what's the old anger I need to release? Write that down, especially what have you been holding over this last year? So what's the old anger that you need to release? What are the frustrations that you're experiencing with life now that you need to release? And then where are you feeling blocked? Okay. With me, I had been feeling blocked creatively, right? Because I can't create out of stress. I mean, like, by creating, I'm talking about writing. I'm not talking about, like, obviously I could make a workbook, because workbook isn't like writing to me. This is like exercises of telling other people what to do, as opposed to living in a fictional world when the real world was so damaging. But truthfully, that should have been where I could live easily. But this right here is a big thing for you. By the way, if anybody's wondering what am I looking at, I am looking at the Light Seers Tarot. So y'all can check that out. They're just really, really beautiful cards. But this is that surrender. This is that let go. But this is also for you to say yes. This is the biggest thing it says. This is a yes card, a huge yes card. Not because it's saying yes to you, but because you need to say yes to you. You honestly need to say yes to the opportunities that are before you. And whatever opportunities are not before you, but that you want them, you need to be writing that down, because you need to create them. You need to be calling that in. So again, in this new moon, I would honestly journal in these, and I'm going to make sure that I'm off on time so that I can do that, is set the intentions of where you want to go over this next year. Like, what do you want your next year to look like? And don't sit in what you don't want it to look like, right? So before you even get into setting intentions, I would do this release one first. What's the old anger you need to be releasing? What are the frustrations you're feeling that you need to be releasing? Where are you blocked that you need to find flow and release in? And then I would get to intentions. What are your intentions for the next year? What is it that you want to manifest at this time? Okay. All right. So because this is your action card, I would start with that action as we get into this new moon. I would start with that action. I would start with the action of the journaling, of the introspection, of the releasing, so that, you know, you have to open your hands, right? Open your hands, open your heart, open your chakras, whatever you do. You have to open it in order to receive. So this releasing is about working to let go so that you can align yourself and embrace those new activities. I mean, new, activities, growth, goals, whatever. And then because this is a new moon and because you're setting your intentions around this particular new moon, get ready for it to go fast. It's going to be accelerated. Okay. If it's aligned, it will be accelerated. So you're looking at accelerated, you're looking at unexpected, because some of the things that you might be intentioning, you might go, I have no idea how this is going to happen. And because you are opening your heart, your hands, and releasing the blocks, guess what? God, the universe, whomever is, okay, now you're ready to receive. This is how we're going to do it. And don't you go, no, because you're in a season of yes. Okay? So for the next 4 weeks, that's what it is, but and beyond. Because what you're doing is laying down the ground for beyond. Okay? So I want to get to these parts right here. This also elevated the known part, but this feels like outside of us, actually. That's right. No overthinking, Lisa. Say that. All right. So this is the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So we got the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Now, in the upright, it looks kind of like she's nurturing, saving, protecting, embodying her money, her values. But in this one, it feels like I'm getting more of a stinginess to it. And if you notice, it's Pentacles again. And honestly, that's where we had differed over this last year. It was a difference in value, but also it was a difference in money. Because we're watching the billionaires. I'm talking about the bad ones. We're watching the billionaires like just destroy the country. And it's like, what? But now you're like, oh, thank goodness the garbage men came. Thank you for taking out the garbage, which includes yourself. Thank you for outing yourself, because I had no idea you were in the background. But now I do. Now I know your name. I know your face. I know your birthday. I know where you came from. I know so much about you, baby. Well, you could have just stayed in the background, made your little money quietly. But no, you had to try to break some shit. You the worst kind of thief. You the one that trips over all the garbage. Okay, time to take you out. All right. So, hey, they effed up. Hey. Okay. So yes, so this is that stinginess, but you know what else it is? This is that lack mentality. And I do feel a little conviction about that, you know, because housing situation is a little up in the air for next month. My mom's selling her house and ... You know, so it's like, so things are a little up in the air. So when I talk about unexpected, I am in this space of unexpected. So, so I did just get chastised a little bit about that because of that lack mentality that I do have around that. So this is what we got to do. Exactly. We got to, this is like pay attention, right? And so since we needed to know what we're releasing, what frustrations, what blockages we're releasing, this is one of them. This is one of them. Placing too much value on money is another one. This is one of them. If yours is, I got to chase, guess what? When you're chasing, what are they doing? Running. So when you chase, you don't catch, right? Or when you chase and you catch, it's unsatisfactory. So I got to attract. And how do you attract? You clear your channels. You let go of the lack mentality. So no hoarding. No looking at the billionaires and saying, I want what they got. No lack mentality. Okay? And don't make money the focus. Make the alignment the focus. Because when it's aligned, it's provided for. Right? So that's a big thing. And for those of you who do affirmations, this is a really good one. I just heard, let me share this with you. I live an abundant life and I have more than I need. If you're an affirmations girl, this is what you need to say. Or affirmations boy, whoever. I live an abundant life and I have more than I need. One of the ways that I was taught through my quantum therapist, she was like, when something good happens, say yes and more, please. Okay? So enough feels like a period. Having enough is not being able to give from overflow. So I am more than enough. I have more than enough, because then I can share without depleting what I have, right? So the other thing that came out that we got to work on here is the 10 of Cups. Okay? We're not in the space of where we want to be here. Cups is our emotions. This is the only cups in this whole deck right now. So that's good. So some of us have been doing this work. We have been doing the karmic work. We have been doing the therapy. We have been doing the shadows. We have been doing the work, but we're not completely there. Okay? Oh, and when I tell you, this has been, how many readings have I done? This month, I think I've done 10 private readings. Yeah, just speak it out, though. Speak it out. I've done 10 private readings this month, and this line is leaping out at me about what this shadow means, right? Because let's look at it in the upright. In the upright, this is that community, right? So stop feeling alone. You found your community, and if you haven't found it yet, create it. That's what I was told to do. I was told to create my community. How do you create your community? You show up so they can find you. If we go biblically, there's some scripture, something, I don't know scripture that well, but I do know part that said, my people will know my voice. Well, if you're not using your voice, how are they going to find you? You've got to figure out how to use your voice. Is it through writing? Is it through posting? Is it through video? You got to use your voice. You got to show up and say, I was here, damn it. Okay? So, and if you look at that, there's living in harmony. It's being okay with the way things are and finding joy and contentment in those things. So this is what that is. Harmony in your relationships, in your family, in your soulmates, in divine connections, in your heart being open, because cups are an emotional card. Girl, like for real. But we're in the shadow. And so the shadow of this is the arguments. And we've had a lot of them this year, right? Some of them with bots. But for the most part, we've had a lot of them this year. And some of those we had with ourselves. But this is the line that I want to share that I've had with every single person I've read. Every single person I've read privately, and a lot that I've read here on this platform. And the friendships that I've had that I read when I was trying to get used to these cards. Not feeling worthy of love. And love doesn't have to be romantic love. Not feeling worthy of your own love. Not feeling worthy of your self-love. Every single person I have been talking to has that issue. You know what that means? If every person I've interacted with had that issue, that means I had my issue too. Because you will always get your reflection. Someone will always reflect back to you what you need to be working on yourself. Right? Especially if you're in the work of healers or readers or spiritual guide or any of that nature, you will always be reflected back to yourself. And so you have to start recognizing the patterns. Okay? You will always be reflected back. It is truth. Not just depth. It's truth. Okay? So start paying attention to the conversations you're having. Especially like when you're talking and you go, oh, shit. That's because it hit you? Because it was actually for you. They were just connecting with you so that your spiritual guides, your ancestors, your God, your whomever could bring that up and out so you could see it, right? Or you can hear it. Because obviously you're not listening to your spirit. So sometimes they got to use people. Okay? So this is the shadow you need to be working on. This can go in your journal for tonight as we do our new moon journaling. And then this is the last one that popped out for our known area. And that is judgment. Ooh, feel that there. Ooh, I feel it. I can feel it coming through the air tonight. I never know words, so don't correct me. Oh no. Look, this is 19, the sun, and then we got 20 as a shadow. How about that? Let's work on it so we can get to the sun. So, this is on one hand, it's really good because it didn't come to us in the reverse. Okay. So this came to us in the upright, and I want you to like actually look at it. What's happening? Well, this reading is for the elevated. This reading is for the spiritually awakened. This reading is for those of us who have been cracked open over the last year, right? So we're being called to ascend. Oh, thank you. We're being called to ascend. And so this card is about self-realization and understanding. And honestly, that's what you're being asked to do tonight. As you prepare for this new moon, you're being asked to really get into this self-realization and understanding. This is also spiritual awakening. Okay, so this is the known. A lot of us have known now that we are in the club. I might not want to be in the club, but I got a pass. I got a hall pass. Okay. This is also about redemption. Ooh, that's a good word. So this brings me back to that self-worth one, right? That self-love one, because this is going in our known thing, right? And so if we are lacking that love for ourselves, the other thing that we're lacking then is we're lacking trust for ourselves. That's almost always what it is. It's not that you don't love yourself most of the times, it's that you don't actually trust yourself. Why don't you trust yourself? Because the one person you lie to every single day is yourself. So every time you tell yourself a lie, you create distrust. And trust is the hardest thing to rebuild. So every time you say something like, oh, I'm going to get up at 5, it feels trivial, but it's a lie that you've told yourself. And so now you don't even trust yourself to get up at 5. Because I swear, just the thought of me saying I'm going to get up at 5, I'm like, girl, now you know better. And guess what? I do know better. So guess what? I won't tell you that I'm going to get up at 5. So instead of continuing to lie to myself, I'm telling myself the truth. We're not doing 5 o'clock unless I'm already up. Okay. And if I got to get up at 5, I'm not going to sleep. Because if I go to sleep, I'm finna sleep. Because I sleep. Okay. But anyway, so this is asking you to redeem yourself. Like, be honest with yourself. Some of y'all are in jobs that you absolutely hate. Absolutely hate. And you're telling yourself you can't find a different one. Or you're telling yourself, I put in all this time. All this time. There's nothing else for me. There is. Because I'm going to tell you what will happen. If you're feeling the call to move and you don't move, oh, you're going to move. I thought I got rid of that. You're going to be moved. All of a sudden, they're doing layoffs. All of a sudden, all of a sudden they're moving. And you can either move with them or that's it. All of a sudden, you got a man with a sledgehammer, a chainsaw, who cuts your security. So all of a sudden, the world moves because you didn't. Somebody finna move. Okay? So it's redemption. You have a chance to start telling yourself the truth. Why aren't you doing what you want to do? Where is this fear coming from? Are you going to continue to let fear lead your life? Or are you going to tell fear, have a seat. Thank you for trying to protect me. But right now, baby, you're being a hindrance. I got work to do. Okay? So know your motives also. This is really good. I'm reading all these because this right here is like preaching right now. So know your motives and your heart to be true. So one of the things about that is, and this almost goes backwards, but I don't want to get into your past or anything like that. But there's a one of the people I was talking to over this last week, shame was a big word. It was a big, big, big word. It was a boulder in the conversation. And we got to do some reframing sometimes, because I too had carried shame at one point about the things that I had survived. And I kind of blame myself for putting those things in putting myself in the way. But what I want to tell you as far as that's concerned is, a lot of the times we were dealing with the limited knowledge that we had, and we did the best we could with it. Or even willpower is, first of all, if you're neurodiverse, chances are you don't really have willpower. You really might not have no willpower. Might not. Unless it's something that either will punish you greatly or will reward you so greatly, and that reward is immediately, right? Like, some people like to cook. I don't like to cook. So that's a punishment to me. And I'm not going to get any better at it, because it just feels like punishment every time. But I will sit here and learn how to make any kind of book, right? Like tonight I had bought a romance novel at the Dollar Tree. It was a known author, Beverly Jenkins, and I never read one of her books. And so I'm going through her books, going page by page as I'm setting up my book. So I'm like, okay, so this page, she got a title, and I'm over here measuring, making sure that it goes around the same level and stuff. So I'm like, all right, because her book was published by a big publisher. I want, when somebody buys my book, my self-published book, they can't tell the difference, right? So, like, for instance, this book, I want to say this is my first workbook. I did a workbook last year. But I'm so proud of this book, because this book feels like a professional book. Not only feels, but it looks like a professional book. It looks like it was done by a professional publishing house. Why? Because I've gotten better and better and better and better and better and better at making them. Because this is like book 25 or book 30 for me, right? So I just got really good at it. I really love this book. Okay, so, like, I'm so proud of it. It's like, oh, I love it. But my very first book, I used to have shame, because I was like, this isn't a book. It's only 40 pages. It doesn't feel like a book. I don't feel like a real author. And so I carried shame of it for a while. So I had to own up to it, like, but it got me started, So that's what I mean by knowing your heart to be true, like knowing your motives to be true, like reframe that. Understand where it came from. A lot of us had to learn on the job. Like, we had parents who didn't teach us shit. I was never in the kitchen, for instance, with my mother. So learning how to cook rice, I finally learned how to cook rice when I was 39 years old. Some of us are on OJT. I learned how to drive in a car, like my car. Every ticket, every car accident, every oops, my bad, I had to learn how to drive. I would rather have learned, from somebody who could teach me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all have to understand, in your life, you've been learning on the job. So your younger self, your middle self, even your now self, you've got to appreciate the fact that they kept learning and didn't give up. Okay? So I need you to tell yourself the truth about you. And then have that transparency. Be transparent. Be transparent about where you've been, about what you've done, but also understand the reframe of it. You were learning on the job. Okay? And just reveal, revel, and allow yourself to grow spiritually. That's the work. That was a long ass reading, but that's the work. That is the work for your new moon. I need you now that you know what's ahead of you. Sorry, I gotta stand up because I had blood clots last month. So now that you know what's ahead of you, I want you to journal I want you to journal or write out or list out or what have you. I want you to journal. What anger are you still holding on to? What frustrations are you still dealing with? Where do you feel blockage in your life? I want you to let all that stuff out on the paper. I want you to be honest with it. I want you to just lay it all out. If you got tears that come with it, let tears come with it. If you feel the flare and the fire of anger, feel the flare and fire of anger. Stop stopping yourself from feeling. Okay? If you notice, like I said, we had one emotion card. And this emotion card is telling us what we have not allowed ourselves to have. We have not allowed ourselves to have good relationships. We have not allowed ourselves to have strong community because we did not feel we were worth it. So clean house. This is what you're doing now. You're cleaning house. You're releasing this emotional baggage. You are releasing the lies. So journal this stuff out. If you need to let it go by setting it on fire, do that. If you need to let it go by ripping it up and flushing it down the toilet, do that. Tonight I heard about how you could create moon water, and I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to find me some little jars or something and make me some moon water so that I can give my pendulums a nice little bath of the moon water. So you do what you got to do, right? So release that anger, release the frustrations, release the blockage, at least on paper, so that at least you have this one step of being honest with yourself. And then I want you to think about, what do you actually want over the next year? What is your intention for the next year? What are you looking to call in for the next year? And nobody is asking you to be practical. Because the other thing about this new moon, baby, is that this is about the unexpected and this is about the accelerated. So these changes are going to come. These opportunities are going to come. These turning points are going to come. Are you going to be holding on to all the garbage and shit that you're dealing with? Or are you going to be calling in that new stuff you're writing down? Okay? And that is your new moon reading for the collective. It took very long, but it was worth it. I feel called out. So I'm not too shabby with these babies. Hey, Cherie. All right. They didn't do me too bad. I was still a little scared. I still had to go into the book, but I survived. I survived. So for anybody wondering what we're reading from, I guess I have 2 of them in my shopping cart. So you can look and see which one has free shipping or whatever. But these were the Lightseers Tarot. And they are, why am I looking at my own shopping cart? They are amazing cards. They're not as dark as some people's cards. Not as dark as like sometimes the regular Rider-Waite, but they do still lean on that, and they still do that. I'm so glad you understand the assignment. I think I'm going to clip that tonight and post it tonight. We'll see. I'm not going to be on here too long because I did promise to set the intention to read my story and see where I am so I can start writing again. I'm like 80 pages into it, and I need to see where we are. Yeah.